every single game. This is game number 18. Shen has been banned and he's never been picked on 7-5. He's just been banned.
He doesn't get a chance.
In almost every single game, where he is banned a few times over in Korea, but not as often. And it's really a pick here in Europe we put so much priority on, which is kind of interesting when you consider that a lot of our teams have like carry top laners or top laners who want to play Rumble, Renekton, Gnar, Kled, all these kind of things. And then Shen is the one that everyone gets rid of.
Well, does have a lot of sticking power, and honestly, for a tank, he can still get a lot of disruption here. And it's been a specialty of some of the top laners in Europe as well. It was a Chachi ban special for a long time.
I mean, that's the thing, right? You can force a lot of plays with Shen. He's hard to play against because of it. He also gives you a little bit of an oopsie, but we're like, oh, I actually went a little bit too far, but boom, Shen ulti's here. It's okay, guys. We're still winning the fight. So Maxlore ban, same thing on blue side. Problem is here, if you first pick it, the enemy team will go like Ashe, Tahm Kench, Ashe, Lulu, and then Maxlore is completely countered. So you can't actually first pick him unless you ban those other champions. And that's why we see a lot of blue side bans.
Yeah. This time around, mixing things up in the ban department for Misfits. Jace. They ban the Syndra themselves, and then they ban the Jace. Leaves the Swain open, but ROCCAT are going to opt once again for this Graves.
Graves for Maxlore. He loves this champion. KaKAO normally play a lot of Lee Sin against Graves, and I want to seize Lee Sin. I said in the last game, when he's on that champion, he's a 9 out of 10. On anything else, I feel like KaKAO is like a 6, 7 out of 10, and that's not what I want to see.
Well, he locks the Rengar again, Deficio. It's the same two champions we saw in their first couple of rotations last time, the Rumble for Alphari one more time.
And I can't fault them. This is not a disappointed dad kind of moment. It's understandable. Very strong meta picks at the moment. Alphari's Rumble is good. And as we said before, it's very safe. Now, Vladimir is still open. So is Swain.
So is Gnar.
So is Gnar. So this is comfort all around. Could still be Vladimir pick here for Betsy if he feels that confident on the champion and he's okay playing it against whatever PowerOfEvil has to offer. With the Orianna ban, I think it actually makes a lot of sense to grab it. But with the Tahm Kench instead, putting value on him, it is a pick a lot of European supports love. You have so much mobility with your ulti.
It's a pretty decent front line though, and PowerOfEvil's gonna do the switcheroo.
Misfits will ban Swain here. They'll just get rid of Swain as well, I feel like Swain casts UP or something like that, just to completely remove comfort from Betsy. Interesting, they value that Tahm Kench above the Vladimir, if you look at how good Betsy's been on the champion. So I want to see Wadid on Tahm Kench. It's a pick he's played quite often.
Yep.
It is rare I've been like, yeah, they're winning because of Tahm Kench. This is the pick for them.
But it has been a pretty strong pick across the board, and it's a very comfortable one for ROCCAT. Let's see what Misfits ban again. We're expecting to see the Swain ban, but if they don't do it, you bet ROCCAT will be snapping it up.
Definitely a high chance they will play it against this Vladimir. They're debating it. Is Swain that strong? Can we leave it open? They banned it last time. Could definitely also just say, let's play against it. You know, we're fine with Vladimir, we're fine with the matchup.
Yeah, they're going to ban it.
As we talked about, it is the two champions Betsy plays. It's become a little bit of a meme. Like, imagine giving Betsy Vlad or Swain.
Yeah, saw that one in the break.
Definitely did.
I mean, let's see what else Betsy can come to bear, too. I mean, the guy's had a lot of experience in the European LCS, and even though those are two pocket picks for him, Vlad's been popular across the board on the 7.5 patch.
We're running a little bit thin of picks to take against the Vladimir, though, especially for Betsy, who's been very focused on those specific champions. He's not had, like, a champion ocean by any means. Now we have a winning bot lane for Misfits before even seeing the AD carry, because they have Lulu against Tahm Kench.
Automatic.
So that's going to be a pushing lane. You have mid lane with Vladimir, which is already going to be a fine, good lane. So a little bit stronger setup there from them. Not that they have issues early game, last game, but it can be very difficult to play some of these struggling 2v2 lanes. You can fall really far behind, especially if you're ROCCAT.
Well, we've seen ROCCAT fall behind, and well, this time at least they'll have a lot of wave clear to match. They take the Ziggs.
I mean, they have a lot of physical damage from Gnar, Graves already. Let's see what Betsy wants to play here.
It unlocks his ability to play AD mid laner, but Jace has been banned. There's a lot of mid lane bans in this Misfits, 4 out of 5 champions.
Oh,
but will it be?
This is the one we saw yesterday from Syncux. They say European special as well. For some reason, Kassadin always finds his way into the European meta, one way or the other.
He never leaves. He just void walks out a couple times.
He does, and he has the same weaknesses.
Rift walks, excuse me.
His early game is still pretty meh until level 6.
I mean, it's thematically appropriate to what we've seen from ROCCAT as a team, but when they took the mid game and late game fights, it looked like a whole different squad.
Here's the thing, though. Kassadin splits the waters. There are European mid laners just saying he's trash. There's European mid laners saying he's good against Vlad. Level 6, he can win the lane. That is if everything is going perfect for you. If the enemy jungler will never visit your lane. If the enemy support will never visit your lane. When they do, what tends to happen is Kassadin gets pushed to his tower. Kassadin has to sit at his tower and wave clear, and the enemy team leaves. They're gonna go bot lane, they're gonna go top lane, or they're gonna siege on his tower and take his tower. So there are definitely issues for our good friend Mr. Kassadin. His scaling though is still pretty damn insane.
So what is the ROCCAT game plan here with this Kassadin? It screams late game to me, but what are they going to do to survive that laning phase?
Well, that is the big question. One thing you can do is try and get the Ziggs into the mid lane very early on so he can be that wave clear machine. And then Kassadin gets to his side lane, but you gotta get to like 15, 16 minutes before we start seeing that kind of shenanigans. But that is the thing for ROCCAT. If they can play all 3 lanes at the same time, then suddenly the Kassadin can be very strong.
Well, yes, indeed. Well, ROCCAT have already shown that they were strong enough to take a game off of Misfits. Can they do it again? Can they close out the series, put themselves up over Fnatic in the standings in Week 9 here? Hashtag ROC win if you believe they can blast off to victory on the Misfits side. Do you believe in this rookie squad that has climbed all the way to the top of the European LCS? Hashtag MSF win. Tally those up and show them off later on in the game. It was a pretty split vote last time around.
Might be in favor of ROCCAT right now. With them taking that first game, Pyra, they are chasing Fnatic in that third place game, or third place spot. It's not a game, Pyra.
But it'll be a lot more games to play if they can make it happen. Let's find out. We are getting into game number 2, Misfits versus ROCCAT. Match point for the boys in blue. Let's see if they can get it done in game 2 here. Let's load up onto the Rift and find out.
All right, so once again, Misfits with the composition. It's lacking pure front line. The Rumble top. Fantastic pick right now. Overall strong comp. They have I like Ezreal when you pair him with a pushing support. Karma, Lulu, both those work. That is now in favor of Misfits. After Vladimir mid, we know how strong he is right now, how hard he is to deal with.
But Misfits were also lacking a true front line in their first game. Do you think that was a big part of their problems?
Yes and no, not really. I think ROCCAT even with the tank would have made, sorry, not ROCCAT, Misfits with the tank would have made some of the same mistakes. I also just want to give a lot of credit to ROCCAT playing very aggressive in that mid game. They were looking for the mistakes and they were punishing the mistakes. One thing is the enemy team overstepping. Well, it requires the other team to still then notice you doing it and punish you to actually get an advantage from it. And that's what ROCCAT did. Whenever Misfits dipped their toes a little bit into the water, they dragged them all the way under.
And we're able to make the big plays. Misfits this time around. No shenanigans allowed. Wadid.
Oh,
sick take a ton and whackle out. Well,
that's good.
All right.
You take it what you can get.
Yeah. Talked about a winning lane when you got a Lulu. Pushing lane at least.
Lulu is obnoxious to lane against.
Yeah. So is Ziggs though.
Yeah, I actually think Ziggs early laning is not that insane. It's fine, but it's hard to consistently land enough damage and you run out of mana. You need your lost chapter, then you can start being annoying.
Yeah, that's true.
Luckily, there's a bit of counterplay to it, otherwise he would be pretty overpowered. So I assume this lane will go in favor of Misfits early. Mid will go in favor of Vladimir early. Kassadin always pre-6 gets pushed in by almost everything in the world. And then top lane, same thing. It's actually funny because Gnar needs an item to take over the lane. Kassadin needs an item and levels to take over the lane. So very early, it's in favor of Misfits.
We should keep an eye on KaKAO if he's able to get involved early, because last time he actually got in trouble sneaking into the ROCCAT jungle and found a Maxlore right there. See how his pathing differs this time around. And may not be able to get in the lanes early, but as a Rengar, he doesn't necessarily need to.
No, you can definitely just do the 3-camp clear if you guys have been watching the breakdown. Jad highlighted some of the different clears we see from Rengars. This time around, KaKAO did his Raptor Red Crooks, which is early level 3, enough gold to get a longsword when you go back, plus a potion, which is what he's gotten right now. And then you can go back out, full HP, clear your bottom side jungle, have a ward that can have a lot of impact on the map. You can get it early in the river or deep inside the enemy jungle. And you can then start farming up and start having an impact on the map. Maxlore is greedy. He's not greedy at all, he just wants more gold. That's a classic. Just doing a full clear, knowing that Rengar won't do too much early on.
No, he can't get punished too much. I mean, greed is a very specific term in League of Legends, but isn't wanting more gold technically greedy?
I mean, I guess it is. It's like, hey, do you want more money? Yes. Are you then greedy?
It's a debate.
Is it debate? Is it just normal? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Hjarnan not able to get as much farm up against Hans Sama at the start of things because this lane is always going to get pushed back a little bit now. And you can see KaKAO making the first of the aggressive moves into the jungle of ROCCAT. Alphari also following suit up top.
So as we talked about, you know, pushing lanes early for Misfits, that means invade enemy jungle, top laner, mid laner. Get vision down, spot the graves, find him, get full information. Because once you know where he is, you don't even need to see him, you just need to see different camps. If you know those camps are down and you haven't seen him there, he has to be in the other side. And that means you can just keep pushing lanes and not, you know, fear the enemy jungle. So this is really good for Misfits, but it won't be like this all the time. Again, we're waiting for levels and items on Betsy and Phaxi. Then ROCCAT will play split push. Kassadin one side lane, Gnar the other side lane, and they will win those side lanes, Pyra.
Keeping an eye on Phaxi too. He's built up his Gnar bar. He didn't trade nearly as well into Alphari as we have seen, but Phaxi's had a surge, especially on this champion. His Gragas last game was pretty impressive as well, and he might be able to continue this trend against Alphari today.
For now, he's just trying to stay even in CS. We see this well, matchup graphic last game. Definitely in favor of Phaxi on the Gragas as you highlighted. He's part of almost everything. Great engages all around. Really good to see this guy show up. He's a rookie. And this is what we like. Yeah,
I mean, Alphari is as well, but Alphari had been pretty dominant in the top lane throughout most of this LCS split. But I think a big thing that Phaxi has been able to shine on, aside from this Gnar in particular playing around the Rage Bar, is honestly his teleport time to get into those fights has been nothing short of stellar.
No, it's very true. I think Alphari and Phaxi are good examples of what we see a lot of in Europe, like new talent coming into the scene. A lot of rookies. Almost every split we have a bunch of rookies having pretty good impact most of the time. And I think both these guys, Alphari also belong to Phaxi here lately, really coming to their own.
Europe has never lacked for domestic talent, that's for sure.
That is very true. We have, however, lacked some international success sometimes. But
yeah, that is also true.
Not more than other regions, I will say. I always love when people are shooting down Europe, being like, blah, 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 you know, G2 messed up here and there. But, like, compared to China, North America, LMS, I'm pretty sure we've done just as well, if not even slightly better in some of the cases with, like, H2K getting top 4 worlds, Fnatic Origin before that. So
it's about a degree of success. I mean, look, it's not South Korea, but I mean, that's the thing. That's always going to be the case.
Unless you are Korea, then you can't talk about international performances. And that's basically it.
For the time being, Europe still see what these two squads can do while we're in the domestics. 6 minutes into the game. No game-breaking plays just yet, and that seems to be, honestly, the way ROCCAT want it, because they have all the scaling.
This is what ROCCAT wants, but to be fair, it's kind of also what Misfits want, because none of the teams have like pure early game comps that just needs to win the laning phase to win the game. Like those comps barely exist anymore. So Misfits at the same time, like a Rengar pre-6, meh, not too exciting. Get him to level 6, Rumble ulti now. Vladimir, great scaling. So it is not like Misfits have terrible scaling, it's just Misfits comp, once we get our laning phase, will shine in team fights, 5-on-5 together. Where ROCCAT's comp will shine when they're completely split up and multiple lanes with Kassadin and Gnar are being pushed in. We'll talk much more about the 1-3-1 once we get to that part of the game, but it's just two different things they're looking for.
Yep. Still very early on, but Betsy, he fancies his chances going in onto PowerOfEvil right now, and we'll check back in on that in just a second as Wadid was chasing forward onto Hans Sama. KaKAO, incoming satchel charge was there. Wadid's going to have to pop that Grey Health soon. There he goes. That's 3 teleports right now, and it means everybody's going to be backing up. Hjarnan still looking to chase Phaxi, building up his rage bar. In comes Maxlore, forcing flashes away.
Nobody from ROCCAT actually canceled. They thought they could get some kills. 2 TPs down. Alphari's half the cooldown. This is pretty huge for Misfits. ROCCAT, they need to get this tower to get something for the double teleport.
They got a Ziggs though, maybe they can just make it happen right now. Alphari cruising to push up on this top side, but this tower is already down at half health.
And before we got this play, Pirate, we got to see the Kassadin after getting level 6 trading. In the face of PowerOfEvil 24/7, winning the trades. This is why some of these European mid laners like the Kassadin. KaKAO can still go for the mid lane though with the potential gank. Like you want to shut down Kassadin before he gets to late game.
You absolutely do, but you know we saw the way that the laning phase played out last time around when it was Betsy on the Vladimir, and You know, he was coming up pretty big despite losing out early in the mid lane trades with the Karma.
Definitely so. PowerOfEvil had such a great start, but then I think his build was too scaling focused. And then the fact they also started losing these fights just made Karma not that strong once we got later. And Betsy obviously got the scaling on Vladimir, so Phaxi's gonna find KaKAO. KaKAO's no flash.
Yep. He's got IgNar though at his back. That means a Whimsy gets him out of harm's way, but with the swap up towards topside, Misfits have yet to be able to finish off this turret.
And Pirate, this is what we talked about in Champ Select. Get Ziggs towards the mid lane so he becomes your safe wave clear as fast as possible. Now this is a little bit earlier than you normally see it. Betsy not exactly strong enough to dominate a side lane, so Hjarnan might have to go up and grab the top side of the map and just play 2v2. Because ROCCAT again are just looking to buy time. They just want to wait. Give Betsy the 1v1 as long as possible. So as long as Misfits aren't able to push any lanes, they can't actually rotate to the mid lane and pressure Kassadin. Because they're always going to get pushed in themselves. Lost Chapter is now on Hjarnan's side, so he can wave clear 24/7. And he should be able to keep Ezreal and Lulu around this 2v2 lane.
Yep. The theater's changed, but it's still the same game right now for Hjarnan and Wadid as they continue to clear waves, keeping the Misfits duo off this top tower. Phaxi having swapped down to the bottom. Yeah, it is. You gotta wait till it cools down. You're gonna burn your tongue, man.
How is it still so hot? It's been here for like 10 minutes.
It's like this game. Warming up.
The game is hot. It's 0-0.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of moves on the map. Series is hot.
You have very low standards, Pyro.
Wow.
I've seen your girlfriend.
Now. Oh. Wow.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean
that was uncalled for.
I did not mean that. That was a joke.
That's okay.
It was just,
Let's get back into things.
It was right there.
Feel more comfortable talking about.
I had to grab it.
Jeez. All right, we're 10 minutes into this game. Yes, there's no kills, I agree, but still, ROCCAT, they've been making the rotations. They got one tower after they couldn't get the kills down bottom side.
But they're getting time. Time is important. Time is very important. Imagine Betsy is you.
On Kassadin.
On Kassadin. Now, like, just imagine, like, you know, the early stages of your life. You need more time, Party. You need to get older before you can start.
This is getting weirdly philosophical.
I don't know, man. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just trying to say that he's getting past his early stages. He's getting his Rod of Ages. And then soon we're going to see him take over the side. And Maxlore will find KaKAO.
KaKAO inside the ROCCAT jungle. Maxlore opts not to take this one. There's a lot of Misfits members actually hanging out here. It looks like they're fancying making a play on the duo lane. Maybe not. They move away. Honey fruit for PowerOfEvil. Yeah, so now the double teleport from ROCCAT, the gate of the bot lane tower, ended up being worth it because nothing else has been happening after. Alphari has TP, but he's kind of stuck getting pushed in. This is why Phaxi wants his Gnar. Once he gets his Hexdrinker, and then every other item from now will be just Phaxi getting stronger in the 1v1. And that is so good for ROCCAT to just have full control on the bottom side, because split push right now, like mid games as well, it's all about windows. It's all about, okay, how often can I leave my lane and go do something with my team? And when you play things like Rumble, very often you want to push your lane, and then once it's pushed, you want to walk to your team. And then you want to force a fight with your ulti because you are a strong team fighter. That is your window. But whenever you do that, the enemy top laner will push the wave back towards you again. That means you have to then go back and grab the wave, and then it's his turn. It's his window. The issue is, if you're getting pushed in all the time, like Rumble will now that, you know, Gnar's getting later on into the game, then Rumble's windows are based on teleport, which is 5 minutes in between, where Gnar will constantly have a window to roam or push the bot lane tower. So that's why it's really bad for Rumble to stay in the 1v1, and Rumble wants to join these fights, but you need to make them work. You gotta time them with these teleports, and if you miss a teleport play, you're gonna get pushed in that side lane over and over, and it's all in favor of the Gnar. So this is good for Phaxi, good spot for him to be in. Same thing for Betsy. Yeah, Betsy hasn't fallen behind. I mean, it's been a slim gold lead, too. It's really only based off of the first tower that ROCCAT were able to secure for themselves. Down here is the scene of the crime as Phaxi goes Mega Gnar. Meanwhile, Hjarnan Wadid trying to push back up top again. But it definitely seems to have slowed a little bit because Misfits, you know, they don't have those windows really to play for themselves without ROCCAT being able to punish.
We're almost looking at PowerOfEvil and KaKAO for those windows right now, where can PowerOfEvil push the wave and then threaten towards the top side? Maybe. Problem is, ROCCAT are reading it. They have vision on top side. They're keeping control of Alphari bot lane. They're not letting him just roam. He has to teleport for it. So they can see the play get set up, and they can react because they have double TP on the side of ROCCAT. So it's really hard for Misfits to make the aggressive play right now. And we might just see wait for 11, you know, try and play around the dragon on the bottom side instead, and try and force a fight. get something going. It's okay to trade. You don't always have to get something where the enemy team gets nothing. It's fine to give them a top tower if you get a bot tower. If that opens up the game and you can then start forcing things. Sadly for Misfits, the long lanes is what ROCCAT wants. Because they're playing the 1-3-1 split push combo.
And they're able to push it a little bit faster too. When you have a Ziggs, that satchel charge, it can blow things up really fast. And all the mana regen he's getting, the Lost Chapter, and it's pretty handy here. And there it goes. He's going to be able to just peck away at it. Doesn't even need the satchel to finish the job.
I mean, that's what we talked about, Pyro. You know, early laning for Ziggs is not that amazing, but once he gets enough mana regen, then he becomes obnoxious. So he's pushing in Ezreal 24/7. That's 2 towers for 0. This is where I would have liked to see Misfits trade. So you know what? We're not getting anything right now. We're going to lose this top tower eventually. Let's just recall and go bot lane and try and trade the bot lane tower for the top tower. The problem is, if you recall when you're getting pushed in, you're going to be really far behind in tempo and you might lose 2 towers for 1. So that's obviously not a good trade either.
There's some play looking to happen here. As
wave to the mid lane, baby!
There we go. Abyssal Voyage just to get the minions.
And now Kassadin gets his side lane, as we mentioned again, with Betsy becoming a split pusher and Hjarnan becoming the wave clear. In this kind of composition, Ziggs doesn't really need to do much more than just keep this mid lane tower alive. And then whenever there's a big wave hitting a turret in the side lane, he can walk over there and join them and just execute the tower. So if you have full push, if you have all 3 lanes pushing with Ziggs, you win the game. Because you will just get every outer turret. You'll just get every outer turret.
Well, Misfits have yet to be able to answer on towers right now, and even though there's a lot of vision investment, you can see it's all the ROCCAT members that are hanging around on this Dragon side. Betsy goes in, but is able to rift walk out, and now ROCCAT, they start on the Drake. They've got 4 members down on the side. Let's see what the Misfits' reaction is.
Well, this means now Betsy has to be careful, because his team is playing bottom side. So Misfits will play top side. This is Misfits' window, and they should get that top lane tower as a trade. But then Misfits now needs to be careful about mid tower, because that's what the side of ROCCAT can push with the Ziggs.
So Misfits should be able to get this one, no problem, no reaction. And ROCCAT, they've gotten the Dragon, but they weren't able to push on mid, and you could already see that Hansama and Alphari were the ones that were hanging around to try and keep it from happening.
Good. This is what we wanted, Pyro. Trading, cross-mapping. We can't contest bot side. We've lost control of bot lane and mid lane.
Some good macro legal edges.
Yeah, you get the Dragon, we get top tower. Betsy backed away. He didn't stay like some idiot, you know, just gets caught on the tower. He just said, you know what, guys? I can't defend 1v4. I'm out. Losing the bot tower, or losing the top tower.
Yeah, still waiting for some time, though, on this ROCCAT squad. They can definitely start splitting, but the power, only certain items already completed. Hjarnan, he has the Morellonomicon. The Rod of Ages starting to stack on Betsy now. On the opposite side, power for himself. He's got the Abyssal Scepter.
Yeah, if there's no more fights in this game, ROCCAT will get the side lane turrets. Like, Phaxi will be able to push this top lane tower. Maxlore's here as well.
Still no deaths, 16 minutes in. Maxlore and Phaxi looking to change that as Alphari safe under tower. Narbar's not there. There's the equalizer, defensive ult to push ROCCAT off.
All right, that's important ulti. That's gone now, meaning Alphari doesn't have any value in a fight. Once again, all the windows in the bottom lane is in favor of Phaxi. That is why people draft split pushers.
So ROCCAT playing this game out well so far, the way they wanted to.
They're playing well. They've gotten past the weakest part of the ROCCAT game, which is the early game. ROCCAT is not a good early game team. They're also drafting comps that don't necessarily shine in the early game, and they've now gotten out of it, dead even in gold, and this is exactly what you want as a ROCCAT fan.
Clearing waves for days with Wadid and Hjarnan. Hansama unable to push any further into that turret. It's only been 1 tower to 2 of ROCCAT. Gotten both the ones in the top and the bottom, continuing to apply that pressure across the map. And it might be 0-0, but they don't need to take the fights. They can just keep on doing this.
They got Kassadin, they got Gnar on the side lane. They are happy. It's on Misfits to force the team fight. It's on Misfits to start something. That's why I'm looking at KaKAO. It's one of the reasons I want stuff like Lee Sin from him. Because out of nowhere, he can force a play. Now, Rengar should be able to do the same, and we need to see it from KaKAO, because he's their main engage. The crowd is going nuts whenever they see Phaxi on screen. He's a superstar. He's Ronaldo now.
Yeah. And seriously, making some big plays. KaKAO was trying on Betsy now over by the Baron pit, but Riftwalk slips Betsy out of his control. Now ROCCAT instantly turning for the mid tower. Easy take. There's only Hansama and IgNar here to defend. KaKAO even made a show of it, but nothing doing.
You know that comment about, you know, pushing lanes and a Ziggs equal win?
Just a Ziggs comp.
Just a Ziggs comp, baby. Bot lane has been pushing for ROCCAT the last 10 minutes. Top lane is now even, but it's going to go in favor of ROCCAT later on.
Yeah, we're into word clear cheer territory for sure.
No, but it's not the same way. It's not the obnoxious way.
No, it's a legitimate way.
They're clapping because the players are valuing vision. That's why they're clapping. They like that the players care about that kind of stuff. Because everyone in this audience have been studying Korean League of Legends, and they know it's all about vision. So that's why they're applauding. See?
Very smart.
There you go. There you go.
They're the real MVPs.
Faker would have done the same. Yeah. Great job, Europe.
Studying the best, trying to become the best for sure. There we go. Another war clear for PowerOfEvil, trying to keep the vision. This kid for his team. Betsy waiting in this brush, and now he's just going to clear the waves out. Waves out, I should say.
Farming is also important in League of Legends.
Yes.
Gold is necessary.
Very essential. Just trying to freeze this one, though.
Oh, Hjarnan shouldn't go back here. It's really risky to recall. If you guys look at the minimap, when your lanes are getting pushed in, the enemy team have the advantage. If you start recalling there, you completely surrender the jungle and the map, and you might lose turrets. You actually want to push out your lanes first, and then recall, so you go back and you can catch the waves again when they get pushed back into you, and you might not lose something.
I was about to say, Betsy didn't know KaKAO was there, but then he did.
Yeah, because now they lost some of the stuff in the jungle. They lose this blue buff as well. Lost some mid lane damage, because ROCCAT were resetting, as we call it when everyone recalls. They were resetting when they didn't have the map advantage. And it's not always, you know, it doesn't feel great to push out a lane and then recall, but it's actually the way to play the game.
Yeah.
Because then you can just go back and you catch the wave and you push it out again, but this time you've gone back to base.
It's the right way to do it, but we're getting closer and closer to that 20-minute mark, which means a big purple worm is going to hit the rift. We saw a lot of Baron dances. Last game around, it was ROCCAT that got the better of it, but that was a different type of game when there was all sorts of mountain drakes around the map, and ROCCAT were the ones that wanted to force the team fights. I mean, they've really flipped it on its head. They want to take the 1-3-1, so vision control on this Baron pit's going to be critical.
Well, now it's all about the push again, Pyro, because you want to get the Baron set up. Phaxi wants to get this bot lane tower, push in the lane. ROCCAT with Ziggs in mid will always push in the mid lane as well. Compare Ziggs to Ezreal wave clear. Quite a difference, my friend. And that means now ROCCAT again will continue having the map or the lane control. And as I said before, if KaKAO cannot force a fight for Misfits, the only way for them to actually start and engage is if ROCCAT pushes a Baron. Is if ROCCAT starts a Baron, do not disengage when Misfits show up, and then you have a fight. So this is all on ROCCAT right now.
And they have a lot of tools to be able to deny if KaKAO comes on in. And the Tahm Kench, Betsy's got a rift walk to get himself out of harm's way, and there's a pretty big front line there if they need it. But if Hjarnan gets caught, if Betsy gets caught without a whole lot of mana, that could be the difference maker. But ROCCAT are playing without a whole lot of fear at the minute because they just have superior position, taking the blue back for themselves. So everything Misfits are doing, they are answering back.
We said this in game one, Pyra. Let's say it again. If ROCCAT wins this series, they will take the 3rd place in Group A. That means they're in playoffs for now. Fnatic will play Giants tomorrow. If they win that one, they will take back the 3rd place. But man, it is so insane to see a team go from being the last place team, one of the worst teams in the EU LCS.
Winless in series.
Winless in series.
7 weeks.
Which is impressive in itself. Like, how do you not win a series in 7 weeks? And then suddenly, they might actually still make playoffs. Now, this is also due to Fnatic's failures, but let's just look at it on the bright side and praise ROCCAT for catching them.
I mean, it's been such an immense turnaround for this ROCCAT team, and they continue to do it, rotating around the map up to the top side, bring the Ziggs to the party, and the towers will fall.
This was the key thing. Once you had a wave in a side lane getting to a tier 2 tower, if you go back 5 minutes, we were setting that up. Then you move the Ziggs. The Tahm Kench, this is where he adds a lot of value with his ulti. He can go from one lane to another, and he brings Ziggs with him. Ziggs will instantly kill tower. So we go back to the point of, if you have 3 pushing lanes with the Ziggs, it equals win.
Yeah, these guys can just hit and run, in all honesty, because you could see Misfits weren't able to catch them in time. Phaxi continually shoving waves and trading with Alphari here. When he's back in Mini-Gnar, he'll be able to kite him out even further. And I mean, that's been the stalemate there. And meanwhile, ROCCAT elsewhere on the map are able to just keep getting it done. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to stop Hansama from backing.
And this bot lane tower now, that this wave is getting pushed in all the time, might just be the next target for ROCCAT. It's a little bit too early to rush a Baron. So I agree, guys. I like the fact that teams are caring about all this, you know, important macro and vision and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's how we beat Korea. But Wadid and Hjarnan, they're going to go bot lane, Pyra. They can take that tower at any point now. As long as they don't lose Baron for it, it's going to be a good trade for them.
Oh yeah, 23 minutes approaching on the clock. We still have no kills, by the way. And we had a pretty late first blood some weeks back. I think it was 28 or so.
29 minutes, 29 Vitality versus Misfits, funny enough.
Yeah. Well, we may be in for a similar game right now. But a whole lot of wards have died, I'll tell you that much.
We don't want to talk about that anymore, because we already know the reason.
Good macro play, that's the reason.
That's the reason.
Misfits are stacking 5 right around
But this is what they have to do. It's all about trying to get that fight. As a team, 5v5. Don't just play or defend 3 lanes, because the longer Misfits just defend all 3 lanes, well, the better it is for ROCCAT, and ROCCAT will just keep getting a bigger advantage.
Phaxi's still holding. Oh, Hjarnan, he might be caught right now. Has to take the satchel charge out. This could open up Misfits to take a mid tower. No, they are pinging.
They're going for Baron.
Around the Baron. Phaxi, though, he might be able to get a tower for this one.
So Phaxi will get bot lane tower, but then he has teleport. Kassadin is nearby. Hjarnan is low. This is good for Misfits. This is exactly what they need, but it's still risky because so many members from ROCCAT are just around the corner.
Betsy's around the back side right now. See if they can get a pick off here. Teleport's going to come in. Misfits reacting. Betsy goes in. He's taken low, but swallowed up by Wadid, keeping him alive. Collateral damage. Taking a bite out of the Misfits health bars as Alphari is forced to flash away. And amazingly, nobody dies, but that's about to change. Or is it?
Nope.
PowerOfEvil back to the team.
No one's going to die. This is a macro game, Pyra. It's all about vision and pushing. 1-3-1-ing. Misfits, they did basically what they had to do.
But they lost a tower for it.
They lost. I mean, that's the thing. You're already behind. Your comp can't defend 1-3-1. It can't defend 3 lanes at once. You have to try and team fight. So rushing Baron to try and get that fight is not a bad play. Problem is, you're already down in gold. You're already in a bit of a disadvantage, and they simply couldn't take down Betsy because of Tahm Kench. And I gotta say, you know, 2 games in a row. One of the picks in the first rotation have been very impactful. Tahm Kench this one, Vladimir the last one. So
it's a huge
saves
play.
Betsy right there. So much AoE damage coming in. The Ziggs ulti as well from Hjarnan. He's low HP, but he can still fire it from a long range. No coordination in the Misfits fight. Hard to do. It's what we highlighted in game 1.
Yeah, it's difficult composition as well.
They're
like
hard to
game
play.
1.
They require some sick coordination, and they require map control. So you can see the enemy, you can flank around them. Everyone cheering for Freddy right there, former pro player. I agree with the audience. Freddy was a bit of a superstar. Represented us well, you know, at Worlds with SK Gaming. One of the only people to play Infinity Edge Alistar top and win.
Those were the days.
At Worlds. He did that at Worlds.
That was some time ago, Deficio.
That was, so I remember that.
Yeah.
That was actually the worst Worlds ever for European, but still. It was pretty sick, the Alistar one. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, we got it!
We
First
didn't even want
blood
to show
for
it.
Hjarnan. Yeah, too gruesome. Let's see if we have a few more kills to follow up. KaKAO gets the hop on, throws the bullet strike out, but the rest of ROCCAT are there. All right, so 1 kill on the game, 26 minutes in, and it's Hjarnan that picked it up on a big Mega Inferno bomb on IgNar.
Oh, KaKAO.
Waiting and baiting, around the side, hopping in onto Wadid. That's not the target you want, though. Equalizer gets thrown down. All of a sudden, the teams seem more interested in getting the fight off. PowerOfEvil on the front line. True Shot Barrage clips onto Hjarnan, not enough damage.
Oh, it is so frustrating to be Misfits. You just want to get a team fight, but the enemy team refuses to get a team fight against you. They just refuse to let you have that fight. IgNar getting hit by every single ulti from ROCCAT, and then he dies.
That's usually the way it happens when you get hit by every single ulti, even through the wild growth.
That's true. That is
Couldn't live.
True.
So a big 1-0 right now in the game, in the series, in fact. ROCCAT trying to play out as perfect of a macro game as they can to take a 2-0 series win over Misfits. That would put them ahead of Fnatic, and what a huge victory that would be for this team. Yeah,
next step, Pyra, is the Baron for them. We'll get a lot of cheers from the audience, guaranteed, because you have to kill a lot of certain things.
Oh yeah, man. Sharing that much for wards. We can't wait to see what happens when the Baron dies.
Oh, can't wait to see what happens when you get a pentakill. Like, people's heads in here are gonna explode.
Yeah, scanner style.
We need some cleaning in here soon. Like, once we get that penta.
Can you promise a penta?
I cannot. But
okay.
if we're gonna get one,
I wish you
it's
could.
gonna
That'd
be
be
Betsy's.
great.
It's
I'd
gonna
ask
be
for one
Betsy's.
every game.
That wouldn't be very special if we got it every game, though.
But just one. You have to figure out who gets it.
That's true.
Yeah, that'd be the real magic.
All right, we wait for that Baron pentakill.
Yep. Teleport still available for Betsy as he's on the side lane. Phaxi's is not up yet, but he's on the top. The 1-3-1 is still in full effect. 5 members of Misfits stacking in the mid lane. They do not want to give a chance for ROCCAT to take any more objectives, but they're running out of options here. And
that's the thing.
Baron Pit's lit up by ROCCAT wards, in all honesty.
Misfits are trying to brute force the mid lane. But against Ziggs, that doesn't happen. That doesn't work unless you have hard engage. But you don't have hard engage. You have 0 hard engage.
Yeah, it's difficult.
So you can't brute force the Ziggs lane. That means you're going to lose your flanks every time. And again, now that gives Baron control for ROCCAT.
Let's see if they end up starting to try to Bait out the Misfits members while the rest of ROCCAT can push on the sides. Troll ward in, denying the vision that IgNar has placed. Alphari, KaKAO, IgNar all here. The Baron starting to go a little low. This attempt feels a little half-hearted though.
Yeah, a little bit.
There we go, trying to go in. Mega Inferno Bomb. Hjarnan gets another 100% kills on the game right now. Let's see if it keeps on going. PowerOfEvil going in for the chase down. And he will manage to pick one up. It's on to Maxlore, but meanwhile, everybody else from Misfits is dead.
Man, we were just watching PowerOfEvil, but 3 guys died from Misfits in the back. They're gonna get one more.
Yeah, Power, he's not going towards the right base, unfortunately, right now. IgNar is about to come right back on up, and Wadid spits him out. Power not going anywhere anytime soon. Into the pool he goes, and down to Fountain.
Didn't play the tutorial, went the wrong way.
In the last couple of minutes, Deficio, we have gotten 5 more kills this game. 500% more kills than the rest of the game.
See,
I did the math.
It's become a standard thing for me to cast low kill games. ROCCAT didn't get a kill for 49 minutes 3 weeks ago. Vitality Misfits didn't have first blood until 29 minutes. Guess who casted those games? I feel like the teams are doing it.
Proud tradition, Deficio.
They're doing it because they hate me.
Oh, so I thought you liked these types of games.
Yeah, I do actually. It's funny, though.
They did it for you.
Hey, I think this game has been really fun. I really like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like with the split push and vision and all that kind of thing. Like, ROCCAT has played a very clean game so far.
Yeah. Difficult for Misfits to respond, but now they're on the Baron in earnest. Dishing it down to half health here, but in comes KaKAO. There's no flash. In comes Phaxi with a big Gnar against the wall, but he only lands onto Alphari. They're trying to hop over the pit, and it's Hjarnan who manages to get 1 kill. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in again, and ROCCAT back to business as usual on the Baron. True Shot comes a little too early, and ROCCAT take the big purple worm.
I absolutely love this from ROCCAT. That was such a clean Baron. They started, they see the enemy shows up, they don't want to risk a steal, they jump out. Good coordination in this fight as well. They get in with Phaxi and Betsy, who have been very strong, farming in the side lane for ages. Hjarnan Ziggs is on point.
It's been real good this game, and he was able to clean up a couple of kills, but he's also been able to rely on a pretty deadly front line of this ROCCAT team.
And sometimes, you know, the enemy team can then defend for 45 minutes and defend the Nexus 500 times and look at you Fnatic right here and then win the game. But not against Ziggs. It becomes very hard to just keep defending structures against him. He has a Lich Bane, he has an Execute. I remember when we changed his passive so that it worked on towers, I'm like, all right, that's a good change. He's a good pusher now. I think 2 patches later, we were like, yeah, let's add an Execute on his W for towers. And you're like, oh, okay. Maybe
it's okay. He still needs mana problems in the early game, right?
That's true. I mean, there's definitely weaknesses. Otherwise, he would be.
But I mean, right now, it's terrifying. All that gold in his pockets translated to the Lich Bane, the Ludens Echo, the Merlenomicon we saw in the first.
Hit the tower, Hjarnan.
A lot of damage.
And
oh boy. Goodbye. Demolitions expert indeed. 6-1 on towers this game. KaKAO looking for a desperation flank, but look, it's the 1-3-1 still going. Betsy's on the bottom, Phaxi's on the top.
I'll keep going. They're winning every single lane. The math still checks out.
Hoping that KaKAO could have some early impact, hoping it could have some later impact too, but on this Rengar, 2 games in a row now.
I want to see Ziggs on top side because that tower's low. I want to see Ziggs bottom side. That tower's low as well.
They can't be both at once.
They just go everywhere. Come on, Hjarnan. I mean, the mid tower's low as well. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No matter where he goes, there's a tower he can kill.
Breaks it open. And Betsy back to the bottom. Wave clearing. KaKAO. Thrill the hunt, but that is enough for ROCCAT to sniff it out.
And Misfits gotta solve this problem, where if they do not run with Lee Sin or hard engage, they do not find openings.
But ROCCAT are finding all the openings themselves. Betsy looking to outplay PowerOfEvil, but a few friends are coming in with Wadid flashing forward and swallowing him whole. True Shot Barrage not going to take him down. Hjarnan going a little bit low, but he gets a heal and flashes out of harm's way. Now Misfits, maybe they can react in time. They had taken down Betsy. Big Mega Inferno Bomb with Dids burning low. Standing on top, and he goes down. Maxlore going to hop over and look to take down PowerOfEvil. Misses on the collateral, but grabs one. He grabs a second. Now that was sick.
It was totally aiming for Vladimir, but who cares? He got to kill IgNar. Didn't expect it either.
Calculated Deficio, and now ROCCAT are wrecking through this base. All the inhibitors are set to fall right here. Hjarnan's still up. Alphari having to burn his flash, dodging the wall of Phaxi. It's just Alphari, KaKAO, Hansama remaining right now. Still some big death timers on IgNar and Power, but there is hardly a base to walk back to.
Oh boy. Oh boy, tomorrow's game, Fnatic Giants are gonna be so awesome.
That one's definitely getting spicy.
For that one, Fnatic cannot afford to lose with how ROCCAT is playing right now, because they have 3 inhibs down now. They have Kassadin, everything you want in this late game, and the Ziggs to kill the next turrets.
Imagine a world where ROCCAT go winless in 6 weeks, then make playoffs. Well, week 7, week 8, and now we're into week 9. What a turnaround from this team. They are taking it to one of the top teams in the European LCS right now.
Imagine a world where the most successful European organization in League of Legends do not make playoffs for the first time. And they don't make playoffs because an organization that all of last year were fighting to avoid relegation steals it from them. Now, ROCCAT a few years ago did make playoffs, but last year it was down in the bottom for most of it. Yeah. This year has been down the bottom for most of it as well, and now they might take it from Fnatic.
That is still a bit of a ways off. Right here, right now, ROCCAT are looking to close this one out clean. 2-0 against Misfits would be a hell of a statement for them to make, and honestly, they've been making some sick plays. Maxlore earning those 2 kills off the back, and now it's looking like the end game for ROCCAT.
Oh, this is it. Alphari's TP behind them.
It's a desperation move, but can the rest of Misfits live through this? Ignar's a little low. Betsy is just going in, assassinating people left and right. That's a double kill onto PowerOfEvil. Redemption for ROCCAT and a Mega Inferno Bomb in the hat. That's going to be the Nexus. That's going to be the series. Team ROCCAT blasting off to victory, 2-0.
They just took down the 2nd best team in this group. Pirate, this is the first time a top 4 team in the EU LCS has lost to what was a bottom 4 team. ROCCAT now is no longer that bottom 4 team, but they were before this series. We have not seen upsets this split, at least not very often. This was the biggest one, but ROCCAT just outplayed Misfits.
100% earning that victory. What a play, what a game, what a series from this ROCCAT squad.
Fantastic. I love that last game. Like, it was only 35 minutes. They knew exactly what to do early, mid, late game. The 1-3-1 was perfect. The Baron setup, it was great. It was like watching Misfits a few weeks ago. Super, super cool to see from ROCCAT. And, you know, we talked about, you know, calm down with the Misfits hate because they just lost to ROC G2 is not that bad. They just got destroyed 2-0 by ROCCAT. It is a little bit of a panic here and there. Yeah. The playoffs is around the corner, but they're still in it. It's going to be great. I just want to give full credit to ROCCAT for being so damn good.
Oh, yes, indeed. And Destiny may be out of their hands as far as the playoffs are concerned. They'll have to be watching intently what Fnatic does up against Giants tomorrow.
But G2 next week.
I mean, the way they're playing right now, nothing is outside the realm of possibility, and everybody on this ROCCAT squad is stepping up. It's such a revitalization for these guys.
Hard work pays off.
Yes,
what
it does.
They always say.
And a 70-minute game against Origin doesn't hurt either, apparently.
Definitely not. That is a lot of practice on stage.
Yeah,
that's why they bet on stage.
Stage presence. Stage presence.
I saw a tweet before this game. I think it was from HQ, from Giants. Basically tweeted, you know, it's fantastic to see the progression from ROCCAT, but also he was so sad that it wasn't Giants who had that progression. Like he was hoping or thought it would be them, but it is ROCCAT doing it now. And this is the thing, like, it sucks for every other team around them, because these guys are now so good, they're just taking wins left and right and pushing you further down.
Managed to do it. Now, for more on that upset from ROCCAT, let's hand it off.